Jai Guru, everyone. Let's read what Master has to say about the Guru in Whispers from Eternity. My Guru, thou light of my life, thou camest to spread wisdom's glow over the path of my soul. Centuries of darkness dissolved before the shafts of thy luminous help. As a naughty baby, I cried for my mother divine, and she came to me as my Guru, Swami Sri Yukteswar. At that meeting, O my Guru, a spark flew from thee, and the faggots of my God craving, gathered through incarnation, smoldered and blazed into bliss. All my questions have been answered with thy flaming golden touch. Eternal, ever present satisfaction has come to me through thy glory. My Guru, thy voice of God, I found thee in response to my soul cries. Slumbers of sorrow are gone, and I am awake in bliss. If all gods are displeased, yet thou art pleased, I am safe in the fortress of thy pleasure. And if all gods protect me behind the parapets of their blessings, yet I receive not thy benedictions, I am an orphan left to pine spiritually in the ruins of thy displeasure. O Guru, thou didst bring me out of the bottomless pit of darkness into the paradise of peace. Our souls met after years of waiting. They trembled with an omnipresent thrill. We met here because we had met before. Together we will fly to his shores, where we will smash our planes of finitude forever and vanish into infinite life. I bow to thee as the spoken voice of silent God. I bow to thee as the divine door which leads to the temple of salvation. I bow to thee, to thy master, Mehri Masha, harbinger of yoga in Benares, and I lay the flowers of my devotion at the feet of Babaji, our supreme master. I'll invite Ashish ji kindly start off today's satsang.
Thank you, Naveenji. What a wonderful reading that is. And how many times I've heard it, I do not know how many times I've read it. I have lost count. But each time it gives a special thrill in the heart, And just again to think how privileged we are to have a guru, a Satguru in our lives. What a rare incarnation. What a blessing. Who knows how many lifetimes of doing good and better and more good in this world that we have had the good fortune and the good karma of having a true guru in our life. And I think this time, let's make it count. And just when you use the words, the flaming touch of the guru, I was thinking of that song we sing, in my house, with thine own hands, light the lamp of thy love. And if you touch me once, I will change all my clay into thy gold. And this is where we really want to just take a step back and just feel in our hearts. Because if you try to understand the Guru, he is way beyond the intellect. No, the intellect cannot even fathom what the Guru is. And even as we try to feel, knowing that one of the best human feelings in our lives, in all incarnations, is the feeling of love. I thought I'll just touch upon the Guru pick the Guru up today for this satsang with the thread of love. Yogananda ji said, when I am gone, only love can take my place, right? So that is what the Guru is to us. And we can't fathom that kind of love. It is that love which goes beyond incarnations. It goes beyond this current lifetime. It stays with us in death of this body, of this life, and it stays with us in the afterlife, and then back again in the next incarnation. That is how the Guru stays with us lifetime after lifetime. We may lose sight of him time to time as we get busy in the world and doing things, but the Guru never loses sight. He just silently watches over us. Like Babaji mentioned to Lahiri Mahashaya, that when he was a little baby in Nodia and he was in this lotus posture on the sand, Babaji would be silently watching over him. Though Lahiri Mahashaya at that time had no conscious memory or recollection of Babaji as his guru. But that love, how does it express itself? Because what does love want? We heard the unconditional love, no? In the human realm, we think of the way we love. There's always a little bit of adulteration in that love. There's something that, an attachment perhaps, a desire perhaps, some fear of loss or insecurity perhaps, that sort of muddies that crystal clear waters of love. But again, when you think of the Guru's love, there is only one thing he wants of us, right? He wants our liberation. And he's willing to do anything as long as you want it. He will never impose his will. He will always love us, but to the extent we want him in our lives, he gives it to us. And I was thinking of Sister Gyanamata. She came to him quite old, though she kept in touch with him through her younger years when she was looking after her family. But Sister Gyanamata, three, four times Yogananda ji prevented her from leaving the body, kept her in the body, even though she suffered. Why did the Guru do that? He did that out of love, because Sister Gyanamata had stated to the Guru that she wanted liberation. And the Guru was willing to see the little bit of physical suffering that the person may need to go through to clear the last residual karmas. Because indeed, when Sister Gyanamata left this body, remember Yoganandaji asked the disciples to come touch her feet, which were ice cold, but the top of her head was burning hot. She had actually left the body through the top of her head, fully liberated. How inspiring is that? This is what the Guru can do for us too, only if we are willing. Think of Kamala Silva, when as a young girl she had asked Yoganandaji for liberation, and she had said, at any cost? And Kamala Silva said, yes. And Yoganandaji said, think about it and come back to me tomorrow. Of course, Kamala Silva wanted the liberation, but she didn't know what she had to go through to get to the liberation. But when the next morning Kamala Silva came and said, yes, at any cost, I want liberation, Yoganandaji said, very well then. And when the last 25 years of Kamala Silva's life were terrible. Oh my goodness, on the human level, if you see, she had lost her memory. She was completely destitute. Some people in Ananda had found her living in a garage. When Swamiji heard that, they brought her to the Ananda village. A lot of our acharyas and Naya Swamis have spent time with Kamala Silva in those last days. And to see her like that, it was very, very contradictory to what we think liberation. Oh, I will have liberation. I will be in the light. But to see the actual process of it, that's where I always think after you are a Jivan Mukta, perhaps, or after liberation, when you come back as an avatar, those souls have spectacular lives. The liberating lifetimes, they can get a little messy. But the spiritual path is not about having a good life, isn't it? The spiritual path is about finding God, being liberated. So when somebody asks Swamiji that Master said Kamala Silva will be liberated, but is this, what is going on? Is this right? What's happening to her? And Swami Kriyananda said, of course, she will be liberated. And he added, what is 25 years of suffering compared to an eternity in bliss? So you see, the Guru, out of the extreme kindness of his heart, is willing to liberate us at any cost, if we say so. Think of Babaji, when he was in the mountains with his band of disciples. And this Englishman, who was a good climber, had climbed up and wanted to be Babaji's disciple. What did Babaji do? He said, "No, no, you're not ready for me. I'm not taking you as my disciple." The man said, "I will jump off the cliff then and give my life." Babaji said, "Go ahead." Can you imagine the love of the Guru who says, "Go ahead, kill yourself, see if I care"? And this is fascinating. So when the man jumped off, Babaji sent his disciples down and they brought him back up, that lifeless, mangled body dashed to pieces on the rocks. Babaji brought this man back to life and said, "Now you can be my disciple." So this is the Guru's love, that man had to pass the test to be ready, to be cleansed. And so we have to be ready ourselves. And just that, coming back to that love, our human love, we love it. But it is just riddled with emotions and the other things that I had mentioned of attachment and desire and insecurities. Try to clear that out. Ask for the Guru's help. Make my heart clean. Make my heart want to love you only. Make my heart want you, the only thee. And when you can do that, when you try to do that more and more, you will see that everything that you currently love, you can love better. You can love more. Because when you seek that love first and your heart is open, then the Guru can take us as his disciple. Both Yukteswar ji, when he met Yogananda ji, when Yogananda ji met Swami ji, the first thing they asked was, "Can you give me your unconditional love?" That is the requirement. And one thing we have to be clear, and again, it gives me hope that the saints have always said that kind of love is the natural love of our heart. The emphasis is on the word natural. That means we have it already inside of us. If we but take away the other things that clutter our love. So this, on the eve of Guru Purnima, let us just pray to our Guru that yes, I may be a little cup, but teach me how to love you like you love me, because I want only that. You may have unconditional love for me. You may want me as a disciple, which I mean, but you don't want me, but I want you as my Guru. But place that one condition on your discipleship today. Say that I will be your disciple, but you have to show me God. You have to liberate me at any cost. And if you can do that, by next Guru Purnima, when we meet again, we'll see how that 1 year has been in love with the Guru very naturally. And with that, I'll hand it over to Naveen ji for taking it further in the way he wants it. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Ashish ji, for the inspiring words. And I'll take it forward from here. It is said that the greatest blessing of all the three worlds is to find a Satguru and be accepted by him. It is the greatest blessing that anyone can have. Now, with that as the background, try and understand what we as disciples have to do. We today are sitting in this satsang having found our Guru. One major step on our spiritual evolution across this ocean of delusion has already been achieved. Are we realizing the importance of this? What does a disciple have to do? And in fact, why Yogananda? Have you ever tried to analyze that there are so many gurus, there are so many religions, and if they are all talking of one truth, why is it there are so many different ways, different facets of this path? And this explanation is given when you understand Swami Sri Yukteswar explaining the Yuga theory. And without going into the depth of it, we realize that Sri Ram was an avatar who came in the descending Treta Yuga. In the descending Dwapar Yuga, it was Lord Krishna. And after him, in the descending Kali Yuga, came Mahavira, Lord Buddha, Jesus Christ, Muhammad. And then from there it started the upward Kali Yuga, in which came so many bhakti saints, in which came Guru Nanak, Kabir. And as the ascending Kali Yuga was going into Dwapar Yuga, came our line of gurus. Babaji in 1861 restarted this and called Lahiri Mashya to him. And our master, Yogananda ji, was born exactly when the proper setting of Dwapar Yuga was coming in. What is the background of telling all these things? Who do you think, amongst all these great souls, great saints that I have spoken about, is best suited to teach us when we are in the ascending Dwapar Yuga? Because the teachings were about one truth, but why they appear to be different? They were meant for the mental capacity of the disciples of that particular age. As the human consciousness changed, evolved, oblique, descended in the descending yugas, and now as it is ascending, the teachings also adapt to that. So if we draw a parallel and go to the descending Dwapar Yuga, who was the main avatar of that yuga? It was Lord Krishna. And whom did he give this main teaching? He gave it to Arjun on the battlefield of Kurukshetra as the Bhagavad Gita. And who is this Arjun in this Dwapar Yuga? It's Yogananda ji. Yogananda was Arjuna in that incarnation. And Babaji was Lord Krishna. So who do you think can teach us best the perfect teaching for this yuga? We could not have asked and blessed with a better guru. So count your blessings. You have done some great karmas to be here today to receive these great teachings. Now, what does a disciple have to do? There are many examples. How does the guru work on a disciple? Let's take example of Swami Kriyananda. When he was a young man, just by reading autobiography of a yogi, he decided to travel across. And what did Master say to him? You will attain moksha by the end of this life. And what did Swami Kriyananda do? Diligently followed the teachings of his master. The important point is end of this life. And this life will be a life of seva and meditation. End of life. Next example, we go to one disciple of Lahiri Mashya ji named Lakshman Ram. Now, Lakshman Ram was a disciple who used to just fan standing behind Lahiri Mashya ji, and in his so-called house where we go for Guru Purnima, that is tomorrow people will be going there in Varanasi, in Benares, and he just kept on looking after his master. People came, got the Diksha of Kriya Yoga, became masters themselves, went into Nirvikalp Samadhi state, and Lakshman Ram was just fanning, standing behind and looking after the minor needs of his guru. People came, went, but he continued. 9 years passed. He had not been given Diksha of Kriya Yoga. And then one day, finally, someone approached Lakshman Ram and he said, why haven't you asked for Kriya Yoga Diksha from Lahiri Mashya ji? And he says, Master knows. He knows when it is right and he will give it to me. And when this word was spoken, at that exact moment, Lahiri Mashya ji called Lakshman Ram and he said, now the time is right. And he gave him the Diksha of Kriya. And in his first Kriya meditation, he went into cosmic consciousness. To this extent that when Lahiri Mashya ji had left his body, And Rabindranath Tagore visited Banaras. He asked, I want to meet a real saint who is in his body. And that time, Lakshman Ram was staying in a thatched hut on the bank of Ganga alone. And he was taken, Rabindranath Tagore was taken to Lakshman Ram. And the moment he entered his kutir, he knew he was in presence of divinity. And he bent down at his feet. And after being in his presence for some time, at that time, he donated 1000 rupees, which in today's currency is a huge, huge amount. And what did Lakshman Ram say? I don't need this. I just need that you understand the path that my Guru laid out for me. Everything that I have and everything that I have achieved in this life is through his blessing. And he just took, as a token of appreciation of this feeling of Rabindranath Tagore, 1 rupee out of that 1000 and donated the rest to the disciples of Lahiri Mahashaji or his path. This was the other example. 9 years of waiting. Then comes when Yogananda ji went to the US, he met a Bhakti Yoga proponent. He was a disciple and had been practicing this for 20 years. And he met Master. And Master told him that you have been following this path. Do you have actual perception of God? And this person said, no, but I feel a lot of love in my heart. I feel a lot of devotion in my heart. And Master said, yes, you have gathered enough devotion, but you do not have the actual perception of God. If you take the Diksha of Kriya Yoga, you will learn how in this dark room that you are presently in, where the door is and where the window is. And you will know how to go into omnipresence. But this person had been following his path for 20 years and he had apprehension that should I take the Kriya Yoga Diksha or not. But after waiting for a week, this person decided, I've got nothing to lose. And he came to Yogananda ji and said, I am ready. And he was given Kriya Diksha at that very first meeting. And what happened? The door opened and he went into cosmic consciousness. He had a first experience of actual perception of God. And next day morning, he came running and fell at feet of Yogananda and said, I now know that I was banging my head against a wall. Why am I telling you all these stories? You see, from a lifetime to 9 years to first meeting, the Guru knows what is best for us. The common thing amongst all these disciples was they gave themselves completely. They said in the very first meeting, I want to be your disciple. And they offered and surrendered themselves at the feet of the Guru. Whether we will be taken into that cosmic consciousness in our first meeting with the Guru or at the end of this lifetime, he knows best. Stop having wrong expectations and wrong demands out of him. Love of Guru is such that he is willing to adjust everything. Mr. Wickerman was there. He was a very advanced disciple of Yogananda ji. In fact, when Yogananda ji was William the Conqueror, in that lifetime, Mr. Wickerman was one of his sons. In fact, he was the elder brother of Swami Kriyananda in that lifetime. And he was a very different person. He had been in the US trying to follow the path of yoga, and he had followed various masters who had come there to the United States in that time. But with his own perception, he had come to know that he needs to be breathless to be one with God. He knew that this physical breath was the one that was preventing him to go in perfect union with God. And so, therefore, after trying with various, uh, you know, masters, he came to know about Yogananda ji, and that Yogananda ji had come to give a lecture. And this Mr. Wickerman did not have the patience to go and listen to what the Guru had to say. He knew that he's staying in a hotel, and he straight away walked to the room of Yogananda ji after his lecture and knocked at the door. And he said, first sentence he said to him is, "Can you make me breathless?" To which Master said, "Yes, I think so. I can make you breathless. Come in." And on the first touch, Mr. Wickerman went breathless. And he was given the Diksha in his first meeting with Yogananda ji. And not only that, Yogananda ji gave him the ability to be a Kriyacharya. What has happened here is the Guru adjusts to the requirement of the disciple. We too have to learn to be perfect recipients. The grace of the Guru is existing right now, each and every moment of our life. We have to attune ourselves to receive this grace, and that can only happen when we go inwards. When we go inwards with techniques like Kriya Yoga and increase the magnetism of our astral sushumna, then and only then, when the magnetism has become strong enough, do we actually have freedom in our life. Before that state, we are habit bound. We are slaves to our tendencies. I might keep on saying I am an independent citizen of this country and I have this right and I have that right. But do I have the freedom not to get angry? Do I have freedom not to get jealous? Do I have freedom not to like and not to dislike? When I have freedom to do that, then only I am free. That is freedom. And that can only happen if my inner magnetism becomes stronger than the magnetism of things outside of me. And what better method can we have of this magnetization than the beautiful technique of Kriya Yoga? The direct magnetism of our astral spine. Understand what beautiful science is happening within us. With this love of God and Guru, the Guru is aligning his astral spine with our astral spine and giving us that magnetism which will make the sushumna of each one of us stronger and stronger. We have to make the effort to receive the liberating shock of omnipresence. It is just not a walk in the park. Please don't fool yourself and delude yourself that it's going to be a small trickle of some bliss going up and down your spine. No, you have to be ready to receive the greatest, greatest, greatest bliss, happiness that you can ever imagine. It is so great that you can't even imagine it. Like Master said, it is millions of human happiness crushed into one. That is how great it is. Be ready for it because it is your birthright. Because what we have done in this lifetime is we have found the Satguru. And no one better than the one who received the direct teaching of Bhagavad Gita on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Let us today, on the eve of Guru Purnima, rededicate ourselves at the feet of this great avatar, this line of masters who have blessed us with these teachings, and prostrate ourselves there and open our hearts to receive the attunement that will guide us, each one of us, across this ocean of delusion. So, thank you so much, everyone. Let's end today's satsang with sharing the blessings with everyone we need to share with our Guru Bhais, with all wanting souls on this planet Earth. Let's pray. Divine Mother, thou art omnipresent, thou art present in all thy children. Manifest thy healing presence in all bodies, minds, and souls. Let's rub our hands and chant Om 3 times. Om. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much, everyone, and happy Guru Purnima to all of us. Thank you so much. Om Guru.